What's up, everybody? It's Disability Pride Month, and we're excited about this month because, one, it helps you learn about the identities that come with disability and know that people are more than the perception that society has when it comes to disability. Open spaces conversations are just that.
Join us for this compilation where we have so many people. Wesley, you're on here quite a bit. We have Lolo Spencer, we have Joseph Smith, and we have Chaz Kellum. These are all people from this disability community, from our community, and we cannot wait for you to listen to our compilation. Listen on YouTube. Let us know. Give us feedback. We want to hear from you.
Yeah, make sure you just tap in. And again, this is a month where you can become aware, learn, unlearn, but understand that people are human first and that their identities matter more than their disability.
I have basically a form of muscular dystrophy. I don't have the muscle mass and the muscle strength that adds the body to my weight. So, the weight to my body, excuse me. So I'm extra slim to where it's almost like not cute, right? Or what they say is not cute, I should say. You know, they say that's not cute. Then you're a Black woman. So when you're a Black woman who's really thin, you're really not desired, right? Because if you don't have, are we allowed to curse? Okay. If we don't have a big ass, big titties, flat stomach, brick house style, I mean, there's songs about Black women's bodies. And if you don't measure up to that, then you feel even more worthless, right? Then you add that you're in a wheelchair. All of that compounded really creates a sense of insecurity. So I had to find the creative ways that I felt good about myself outside of my body and tap into what those things were and really build up those things. So for me, it was my personality, my outgoingness, my sense of humor, my fearlessness. Those were the things, my talent, my skill set. At that time, I was video editing. So creating visuals, like those were the things. And I really focused on those things and made those things my style, you know, those things, the focal point of what made me feel good, and grew my confidence in those things. So that way, when I did think about my body, I wasn't mad at my body anymore. I was like, oh, the dope thing is my body is the reason why I get to have this personality. I get to dress up this body with my style. And I focused on all of those things. And the more I looked in the mirror, I would tell myself affirmations towards my body. I would literally look in the mirror ass naked and be like, bitch, you was looking good today, girl. Girl, you was out here, girl. Look at them little titties. You is winning. You are winning today. Let's show these off. Literally, I had to do that. So the more I did that, the better I felt about myself. And I realized that these men don't care. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care. You know, you just got to be like a nice person, you know, and that's just in general, right? So then when I started my YouTube channel, the more I share my vulnerability, the more I realized people were interested in what I had to say. So I was like, okay, well, let me continue to share this and show this so people don't feel alone, because I know I'm not the only one now. And then that ironically turned into another notch of confidence where it's like, oh, well, if I done cried on the internet, if I done told you some of my darkest moments and hours, can't nobody tell me nothing. And so since then, it's kind of just escalated from there.
If we really understood, you know, what we could do, you know, and be able to create our own wealth, create our own legacy, stop acting like we actually need something from someone else or need that. I think that's where these conversations come. It's like, how do you find your power in the things that you have already? How do you find power in doing things that maybe you didn't think would create a good life for you? You know what I mean? Because you're not in that lane. You know, I talk about You know, I was an athlete when I first started, like adaptive athlete, competing, bodybuilding, CrossFit. And I did, you know, I still work out. I just don't share it a lot because I realized that most people, you know, especially with disability, you know, the only lane that people see is sports, you know, so Paralympics, you know, working out, like, and so it was more of an inspiring story, but there was no entrepreneurship in that. There was no actual, like, a bigger vision in that. It was just me doing some shit without my legs and everybody thinking that was amazing, you know. But once they started, I always talk about it, but once they started asking me continuously to climb a rope in my wheelchair, I had to realize I wasn't the monkey. And that was when I started to open up different lanes. I became a model, I became a speaker, I became all these other things that they didn't want me to be because I was only in a lane that was fitted for me. You see what I mean? And just as a person with a disability, and then being Black on top of that. So when you were speaking about, you know, certain areas, you know, that we don't get the representation in, you know, I think that a lot of it is intentionally done. So we have to go back and, you know, reference to what you said earlier about being intentional about the things that we're doing today to make sure that it's leaving impact in others, but also creating what we haven't seen.
Companies can't do it with fakeness either, right? We know so many companies out there that are doing it for pretend. When we lost more Black people in the summer due to violent acts, something changed because it had to. It wasn't new to us, but many of these companies kind of woke up and recognized the fact that they need to do more. DE&I isn't enough anymore. We got to go above and beyond in order to make significant change. Don't hire me because I'm a Black dude. Don't hire me because I'm a person with a disability, right? I'm going to go into that place and I'm going to flip it upside down. And some people are going to love that. Some people are going to hate that. But I'm authentically me and I'm unapologetically me, right? And you get in the whole me when I come into that institution or organization. So what I mean by that is companies can't do this fake or phony. They have to be authentic. They have to be transparent. And they have to do the hard work in order to make change. And there is a business case, as Bill pointed out, for DE&I in all companies, no matter what brand or business you're in. There is a significant business case, whether we're helping the bottom line, we're creatively generating more revenue, whatever it is, there are definitely business cases for this work.
More Black people have disabilities than other populations. And you think of some of the reasons why, socioeconomic reasons, laborers, you know, even back in the industrial age, like you were more prone to get a finger sliced off or a hand sliced off. Veterans, you know, aging, you know, poor nutrition. There's so many factors that contribute to people becoming ill and becoming ill, and as a result of that, ending up with some kind of physical, mental, visual disability. A disability does not mean that you're ill and not functional. It just means that there is an obstacle, there's a difference. And when I was looking up the history, you know, I was like, you know, nobody ever really talked about the fact that Harriet Tubman had epilepsy. You know, like she had a disability. Nobody highlights that. They highlight she was a badass too. You know what I mean? And it all goes together. You can't take away her epilepsy and take away the fact that she was a woman and take away that she was strong. All of that holistically made her who she is. This week's highlight is Stevie Wonder. Child prodigy, a genius. He lost his sight when he was born, and he lost his sight after he was born because there was too much oxygen in the incubator. And that's where we see, like, we've moved forward in a lot of ways, but we need to support each other and embrace everything. You know, in LA, that's where I grew up, you know, somebody that, you know, it wasn't violent all the time or anything like that. But you talk about, like, somebody may have gotten into a fight, had a gang shootout, you know, Pookie's in a wheelchair. That's my cousin. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like it was so different. And why do we not show that? And I think that's important. I wanted to tap in also to, like you said, representation matters. What we do
matters.
Because there are people that are around us, right, that see us for us. But then when we get out into society, we end up having to shield that. You know, it's like a cookout. Get to a cookout, everybody gonna know you, right? Like they know you. They like, man, don't come with that bullshit ass Wes that they see on TV, bro. Like they gonna be like, hey, what's up, right? Like don't come with that. And so I think, you know, so if I reference it, it's like come as you would to a cookout. Come as you would when you're around people that you're comfortable around, because that's how you make other people comfortable too. You know, if you shield who you are to other people, well, now that gives them the ability to create their own perception of you. And when they create a perception of you, you become oppressed in your own tangles, in your own chains mentally, because you've allowed that to be something that you embody instead of looking in the mirror and embodying the person that you are. But it had to be a point where we had so much power that we needed to be chained up and oppressed because of the way that we lived, the way that we embodied earth, embodied ourselves, became spiritual. Like there are a lot of things that now for me, I start to look at and I'm like, no, all we're doing is going back, not backwards. We're going into like a 360 turn where oppression showed us where we couldn't be seen. And now we're able to give people the ability to see us rise above oppression, because that's who we were before oppression even existed. You know, and so if you can go into a room and allow yourself to be seen, what you're doing is allowing people to see who you are before being oppressed. Because all they know is to oppress you. The way you move in life, the way you move in just in any space, it's to oppress you. It's the perception that the systems have created for you to embody so that you can be that, you know, that robot, that puppet. But when you become seen, none of that, because nobody can hold you to strings because you're holding the strings. Right?
We all bleed the same color. We might look different. We might have different lifestyles. We might be from a different state. We might be from a different country, different religion, different orientation. We have to look out for each other and stuff. Doesn't matter what your race is. Doesn't matter what your sexual orientation is, what your gender identity is, what you identify as. Doesn't matter what religion you are, what political status you are, the color of your skin. Doesn't matter if you're of a disability. Doesn't matter what kind of job, minimum wage, maximum wage, whatever. It does not matter. What matters is we treat each other with benevolence and venerability. So say we all. And that's from Battlestar Galactica, Edward James Olmos. He played Admiral Adama. So say we all.
Yeah.